the last 5 minutes going to be for questions and answers. So if you get any questions, then just bring it up and I can answer. Um, this morning we also get the class of HIM, but actually we don't have 5 minutes at all. So all the section, I mean, focus on discussion during my lecture. But that's gonna be fine. So if you get any question and you don't have chance to ask in the class, I mean, in last 5 minutes, so you can bring it. Actually, just send the question through me, okay, through my email, or just post the question on meeting chat or MS Teams. So I'm gonna pick it up and answer directly to you. It's gonna be individually answer or a collective answer. I mean, in the class. Right? That's gonna be fine, right? All right. So that is me. Let me see. I would like to actually open the webcam, but I don't know what the problem. When I share the screen, the webcam just turning off automatically. All right, but that's gonna be fine. You're gonna actually see my face later. All right, so here's the pictures. This is my actually, and so my name is Alang Thơ. That everyone know that. Thơ is gonna be name, and Alang is gonna be my family name, right? And I got actually PhD. PhD is that doctoral degree in the field of HIM. So I'm from Australia, but I also get actually MBA, Master of Business Administration from Taiwan. So I spent actually almost 10 years abroad from master to PhD. And I got experience living in Taiwan and Australia. And at the moment, I'm a full-time lecturer at the School of Business International University, trường đại học quốc tế, Đại học Quốc gia thành phố NGUvoilN. But I'm also the module leaders of strategy and human resources management at University of West of England. At the moment, I got two courses. I teach two courses per students at the program of University of West of England in Vietnam. The first course is that APD, at Academic and Professional Development, and the second course, which is the module that I play with the leader role, that's strategy and human resources management. That is my teaching experiences. But I also have actually, more than 21 publications, including articles, research articles, and conference proceedings. So if you go to Google Scholar, then to see my articles there, I get published on very good actually journals. For example, Asia Pacific Journal of Human Resources, Qualitative Research Journal, or Asia Journal of Business, Economic Business and Finance, etc. Relating to practical experience, I got actually a managerial experience of the head of Department of HR. So at least I understand what the the reality of HR work, especially in the public sector. So during my lesson, I'm gonna combine the theories that what we learned from this course and the practice. I also got experiences with abroad traveling around countries like Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, USA, and UK. So I got experiences actually visiting these countries and live in these countries as well. That's about me actually. Here's important, that's contact. Okay, so if you want to contact me, so of course I think because later on we're gonna have assignments, individual assignments, and you need to send your assignment to me. So please contact me through Skype. So Skype, go to Skype and just search me I use this name Alan Torren to get me there, okay, on Skype. So I use almost Skype as the social media for contacting with students. By the way, you can send me, contact me through this email on the screen, right? This is my personal email. Another social media that you can find is that LinkedIn that you can see on the picture. I don't have Facebook. I know how to use Facebook, but I don't have the Facebook because it's that down. So I suggest everyone should have a LinkedIn account. And LinkedIn account is very good for our students, from which that you can, help find your job, meet your employers, open your network. So that's going to be good for you. Okay. So if you got LinkedIn account already, just find me and make connection. So we're going to be friends. Okay. Or if you don't have LinkedIn account, so now you can open it. I strongly recommend you to open a LinkedIn account because for every student, actually, we ask them to open LinkedIn accounts because it is very good for them to search jobs, to develop their skills and to meet actually potential employers. So that's why I ask you to do so. And if you get actually LinkedIn account already and you want me to endorse your skills or to write any recommendation on your account LinkedIn, so I'm happy to do so. To let me know, okay? All right, that is about me. Now your turn. So let's see. So I'm glad to know actually you guys' name, and I also glad to know that what do you expect from this class of HIM, and are you going to search jobs in this field of HIM? Okay, so just share uh, with me and the class as well around these questions. Right, and of course, let's see the class. Of course, we have so the three students, participants. That going to be many, so we don't have much time actually to ask one by one. Okay, I just pick up randomly to make sure that we have conversation. Okay, so that's going to be from the top to the down. Okay, to the bottom. Bùi Thị Nhâm, are you there?
Oh, yes, I'm here.
All right, good. So, Nhâm, okay, could you share with me and the class as well? So, what do you expect from this class of HIM? What do you want from this class?
I want gather information about
Mm.
research
Mm.
management
Mm.
and experiment about this subject.
Mm-hmm. This is the human resources management, okay?
Yes.
So are you going to search jobs in the field of HIM?
Uh,
You don't know?
oh, yes.
All right, that's going to be fine. But what is your major actually? BA, Business Administration. What is your major?
Mm, I don't know.
You don't know? No, I mean your major, Business Administration, maybe. All right, thank you, Nhâm.
Yes,
That's good.
thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. One more, okay. Đặng Trương Gia Hân. Đặng Trương Gia Hân, you there? No. All right, Minh Tú.
Hi, I'm here.
All right. Well, say something about yourself and what you expect from this class.
I expect from this class thì I will learn how to management the human and like when I say something, people can hear me and do what I do, do
as professional, okay, correct?
yeah.
All right, good, cool, thank you. All right, we're gonna know that we're gonna practice, step by step. Okay, Hân, it's back to you. Say something, please. Hello, Đặng Trương Hân. I get your message. Your microphone. Okay, thank you. All right, that's gonna be fine. Sometimes we got a problem like that, Me too. Okay, so one more. Okay, so QUΗN, Phương Anh.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, good. Say something about yourself and your expectation from this course, please.
My name's An, and I hope I can learn how to manage human resource as well as practice my own discipline in an organization.
All right, good. So, do you want to improve your English, Phương Anh? I mean, communication. Phương Anh, you get my question? I mean, so through this course, would you like to improve your English, not only actually professional knowledge? How about English? Would you like to improve it, or that gonna be fine?
I want to improve my English
All right.
and my skill in uh, in uh,
In this
in
field.
research management.
All right. Human resource management. Okay. All right. Thank you, Phương Anh. Okay, that's good. Okay, it's nice to hear your guys' voice. Uh, okay. Thank you for sharing your expectation and your name as well to the class and to me as well. So, of course, what I expect is that after we finish this semester, you guys at least actually understand so what it is, human resources, what a job relating to this, what you're gonna do actually, what's job, what you're gonna do, and how can you get job relating to HIM. So that can be fine, okay. And also we try actually to improve English as well. And of course, because English is not your major, I mean, that's going to be different from students at IU and other programs, because they speak English a lot, they study English a lot, from the beginning. That's why when they go to the course, they're going to be very proactive to speak, to listen. For us, that's going to be fine. We're going to learn it now step by step. Right. So I'm not going to evaluate your English, but I try to make sure that you guys, through my class, you can improve step by step, a little bit in this. I hopefully that the course is going to provide you several academic words in the field of HIM. Okay, so don't worry about English. In case you don't hear me, I mean you can't hear me or you don't understand clearly my lesson, so let me know, okay? Or if I speak very fast, so just let me know. Just you can easy to say that teacher, you speak very fast. I can't catch your ideas. I can't catch your voice. Could you speak slowly, please? So that's gonna be fine. So I'm gonna be back, to read, recite it again. Or if you like that, you can say that teacher, I don't understand it. Could you translate in the Vietnamese? So I try to translate to Vietnamese. Of course, English. I mean, some keywords, I mean, some English words we can't actually translate, strengths to Vietnamese, but we get the points. We understand the meaning of it and try to make sure that, I mean, try to translate it into English, make sure that Vietnamese, sorry, and make sure that it's going to be smoothly, make sure that everyone understands it. Okay. All right. Thank you. We're gonna go through the next one, that course syllabus. I'm gonna introduce this for you. All right, so let me, all right, we got here. Okay, let me share the screen. So for the course syllabus that you're gonna know through this syllabus, you're gonna understand that what do we learn, okay? You should understand that, so this what chapter, what the contents of this subject of this course, human resources management. So what this course gonna teach you. So through this syllabus, you can understand this. So what do we learn? And how do we learn? So how can we learn it? You get the chapters, you get the a lesson there, but how can we learn it? That's going to be tutorials, that's going to be in-class discussions, that's going to be videos, demonstrating videos. So that is the tool for us to learn, okay? And also, actually, the way you're going to discuss with me, debating with me, is the way that you're going to learn this course. But of course, I'm going to introduce it later, and you get the details of learning, teaching methods when you read it. And this syllabus also I mean, help you to understand that how will your learning performance be assessed. Okay, so this is, I think, the big question. Everyone gonna know it. Everyone would like to know it because it's relating to your the final. I mean, like examination, relating to your performance, relating to your points, right? Then you're gonna know that how can we assess it. What we can say that marking criteria. Okay, and and the last thing that when you read this, I mean, this syllabus gonna provide you is information relating to our expectation. I mean, lecturer, school, universities expectation from you. So that after finish this course, the, what we want you to be, what we want you to be, that is we say learning objectives, learning goals. Okay, so that this, I mean, course syllabus gonna provide you. Now I'm gonna go through detail of this syllabus. Okay, I'm gonna share the screen with you. Although actually um, I have shared it. I mean, uploaded on the Blackboard, not Blackboard, sorry, MS Team already. Yeah, should be here. All right. So hopefully that you get the screen. All right, guys. So this is subject syllabus or course syllabus. We normally set this course syllabus, but at the UE we say that it's module syllabus. So if you read it, then to get the points. For example, here subject description that summarize the main contents of this course. And you can see the human resources management is the main subject in 20 program that provide the learners the knowledge of human resources management, which is concerned with all aspects of how people are employed, managed, and developed in organizations. It includes human resource planning, job analysis, implementing, selecting human resource, training, developing human resource, evaluating performance, structuring, compensation, and solving labor relations organization. Okay, and it's for this. It's a lot of series actually, 25 maybe hours. right? But I'm not going to ask you to learn it. Here you're going to focus on here the highlights, the matrix for linking the contents and learning outcomes of the subjects. I suggest that you can look through the contents, then you can understand that what you learn quickly. Okay. So today, this first week, we got chapter 1 that's going to be about introduction to human resources management. And you see the content here that you're going to learn human resource as organizational core competency. You're going to learn HR management, contributing role, organizational ethics, and HR management, current and future phase, current and future HR management challenges, managing HR in organizations, HR management competencies and careers. That is the content of this quiz. I mean, this afternoon we're gonna talk. Okay, and then you see with you that you're gonna learn environmental of human resource management. You're gonna know external environment, internal environment, a global competitive and structures HRM. So, and then we got week 3, week 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's going to be we're going to have 9 lectorial weeks, and then we got maybe 2 or 3 weeks for reviewing and presentation. Okay. For the presentation, remember this week. So week 8 going to be for presentation, right? So every group should remember this. Make sure that you're going to be on track. Okay. Another thing very important is that the textbook. So not only actually listen my lesson and read PowerPoints, I mean presentation slides. Presentation slides that provide the outlines of the lesson. It's not include everything. And if you don't listen to me, actually, you can't understand clearly what the presentation slides talking about. And that's why you need to read this book. So we use human resources management uh, edited by Robert, John, and Sheen. Okay, and so don't worry about this. You can find this book from the library. I also actually give you chapter by chapters. So at the moment, if you go to the MS Teams, you go to the tape, I mean the documents there, and you find chapter 1, chapter 2 of this textbook has been uploaded already. So you can download it and read it to make sure that you understand what we're going to do today. Okay. But it's not enough. I mean, the main textbook is not enough actually for students, university students. You should uh, take time actually to read another books. So we got here 3 books that structures human resource management, human resource management or human resource management from John Macro Hill International Edition. Okay, and not only books, we also got magazines, for example, have a business reviews and research articles, research journals. So I suggest everyone go to find journals like Asia Pacific Journal of Human Resources Management journals, and so of course I need to use your library accounts to access to that journals and to get to read articles there, especially for those who gonna do thesis. Okay, for thesis you're gonna write thesis, so you need to read articles to build up your theoretical background, and that's very important for you if you're going to use English. I mean to write your thesis in English, right? I'm gonna introduce that shorts later. Another important thing from this course is that the methods of evaluation. So you're gonna have now I'm gonna explain it. So process evaluation that 40%, and the final one gonna be 60%. The final one is that we say final examination. Okay, so it's gonna be accounting 40% of total evaluation. Okay. Now go back to this. I mean, the process evaluation it is 40%, but there are several activities that you can improve this. For example, regular attention. Attention, that would be attendance, right? Not attention. I think attendance in the class, yes. Taking part in discussion, all right, that's good. So if you are proactive listeners, I mean, proactive discussion with me, discussion with me for every question in the class, then to get the point. So now, not, I mean, today is not, but next week I'm gonna, you know, get your student list, and then if there are someone volunteer to answer question, then to get the points. It's going to be 20%. A second, that you get presentation of student groups is also 20%. Personal exercise. So you're going to get exercise. For example, this week, you may get exercise. So it depends on the time. For example, this morning, another class, they get assignment. So that's going to be homework. They do it at home, then they send it to me. So if you answer completely, I mean, successfully the question, then to get the points, okay? And of course, we include, I mean, this is going to include midterm examination. And for the midterm examination, it's going to be 40% of this. So you see that you have 60% of this, I mean, in this term of process evaluation for you can get actually, I mean, from your attention, presentation, and exercise. All right, so this is the way that you can improve your points, okay? And for final examination, that's going to be in-person examination. I'm not sure because it depends on the situation of the COVID-19. So if maybe after holiday, I mean TED holiday, we're going to have in-person classes. In-person classes, that means we're going to have physical classes. We're going to go to the campus, to school, to have face-to-face class. So for that reason, you're going to have the examination going to be in-person examination, okay? But for the online, I'm not sure, and I'm not sure of other situation. I mean, COVID-19, if it's going to be under control or not yet. All right, so we're going to wait for this. We're going to get confirmation actually from the school and the university as well. All right, so that is about this course. I mean, syllabus. I'm gonna start up a sources that's gonna be research journal for you. Okay, to make sure that. All right, we gotta go and go here. Asia, Pacific. All right, good. All right, let me share the screen. Okay, guys, so here is another sources that I suggest you to read. That is Asia Pacific Journal of Human Resources. It's very good journal, and you can see that impact factor is more than 4.143. And so it's a lot of articles, research articles here you can read and to get understand. And also actually you can get actually updated, information relating to HRM in Asia region. And it is very important actually for you if you do the research. If you do the research later, so that's going to be good for you actually to read it. I'm going to look through my here. For example, if you read you go through this website and you also get my article here. I got one article I get published on this journal, and you can read my job here. Here me, you can see me here. All right. So it is for people who are gonna do research later, or if you want to study at advanced program, for example, master or PhD. So you need to do like this, read it, okay? All right, so go back to our presentation. Okay, so that is about course syllabus. Now, the next, I'm going to review group presentation, okay? So yesterday, last day, I'm not sure, yesterday or last day actually, I have sent off a Google Sheet, I mean the link to everyone. I post the link on MS Teams, and I suggest everyone go to sign your name there in a specific groups that you like, okay? Because this is gonna help you to form the group for your presentation. But what I suggest here, to look through, I mean, now look at this. See here. I know that everyone gonna be confused that, yeah, we got the group, right? So what is the next, and what you're gonna do with this, right? Of course, you're gonna get the guidelines for me. So for every my classes, you're gonna get clearly the guidelines for presentation. So what you're gonna do, what topic you're gonna do, you're gonna understand it. So maybe the next week. But at the moment, I just changed my mind. I just think of two ways to do this. If after TED holiday and we got in-person classes here, if we get in-person classes, so you guys gonna be asking to do role playing, right? Role playing, not oral presentation. Okay, so what is role playing? Role playing that your group gonna make video. Your group gonna make video, maybe 5 minutes length. Okay, 5 minute length. And of course, you should pick up a topic from this course, HRM, and then write it down, make it a movie. So to get the, I mean, role playing, and make sure that your movie, your videos, gonna be informative. I mean, that's gonna be reflective the series and practice as well. So I'm gonna talk it in detail and gonna give you the sample of the video later in case we got in-person classes. Okay, if we don't have in-person classes, we still have online classes like today because COVID-19. So we can't do the videos because you can't gathering, you can't to have face-to-face meeting, and that's why you can't do this. So we're gonna use the oral presentation. That means you guys gonna work in a group, create presentation slides, and then at week A, you're gonna present it in the class. Of course, it is oral presentation. Okay, so but remember that we're gonna have two options. One is we're gonna do role playing, another one that's gonna be oral presentation. Hopefully that after uh, holiday, I mean tech holiday, we're gonna have in-person classes, and that's gonna be good for you actually to have meet face-to-face meeting with people in your group, and then you can do video to have role playing, okay, relating to this course. Right, so that is about sorry, one thing I'm going to check here your student classes. I don't know whether this does work for me again. We're going to review that. Sorry, doesn't work. Okay. All right, so let me copy it. I'm gonna copy the link here. We're gonna review. Make sure that you guys has do it already. All right, good. Okay. So let me share the screen with you. Okay. No, it is a 01, correct? Afternoon class. Okay. Is that yours, guys? Correct? Oh yeah, we got this. So okay, so everyone get the group already. We got group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, 5, 6. All right, so very good. So far you get the group and you get the leader here as well. Group 1 that Gia-Hưng gonna be the leader. Group 2, Dương Khang. Group 3, Phương Uyên. Group 4, Gia Linh. Group 5, Bảo Khánh, and group 6, Thảo Vi. All right, very good. Okay, so the leader are gonna contact you. I mean, with the leader. Okay, so that's why we need the leader, and you're gonna be uh, taking responsibility over your representation. So in case we move to role playing, that you guys gonna contact me, okay, to make sure that you understand, you know, how to create video, and so if possible, I mean, if um, COVID-19 is under control, then we're gonna have actually role playing, and you guys gonna produce video and post this on YouTube. Make sure that you get the view, okay, and subscribe from the audiences. All right, so back to presentation slide. So yeah, all right. So that's all about basic information about this course. So I just introduce myself. You also introduce yourself. I also introduce the course syllabus and the group presentation. Okay. So that is the main information. I mean, the basic information relating to this course. Now we're going to go through the content of this lesson. So this week we're going to remember that for this book, there are, I think, more than 15 chapters relating human resource management. It's a huge, actually, but we just pick up the main points, and I'm, you know, conforming with the syllabus. Course syllabus is provided by the school, by the university, so I can't actually divide this majorly. I follow it up, and I try actually to, you know, provide you the tutorial, I mean the lesson, to make sure that you understand it. Okay. So for this, I mean the first week that you going to know basically or generally concepts of human resources management. We're not going to go through the detail of this chapter. We go to, you know, in general thing. In that way, this chapter is introduction to human resources management. It's gonna provide knowledge, general knowledge of HRM, human resources management. We say HRM. In Vietnamese, sometimes you may hear the words HRM. All right, that's gonna be HRM, human resources management. So for the next weeks, especially if we have in-person classes, so I'm gonna focus on skill development. Because for HR, for this course, you need to develop develop well your skills relating to make a plan, HR plan, relating to interview, conduct a interview, relating to job description, relating to job adverts, relating to write an email, invitation email, relating to set up, objective management, that the KPIs, etc. And also relating training. For example, how can you build up a training? Okay, so and what thing you're gonna do with training if you are taking responsibilities for training development in the organization later, you should understand it. So that's going to be, focusing specifically on skills, right? We're going to talk that later, and I hope that everyone going to be joined with me, going to be proactive, discussing and doing that reflection. Okay, go back to this week again. This provide basic knowledge about HRM because it's the first week. Okay, and here the learning objectives. What does it mean? What learning objectives or learning goals or learning outcomes? This is my expectation from you. All right. So that means after you finish this week, remember that after you finish this afternoon, at least you understand what is human capital. You understand what is human resources management. What people are gonna do with this job, and how this is gonna be relating to other sections in the organization. The second, what I expect is that you're gonna be able to identify so where employees can be used as a core competency. So here's the key term, core competency. And then you're gonna know that 4 challenges facing HR today. I'm not going to explain HR persons. It's gonna be for the next chapter, okay? We break this chapter into 2 sections. First for chapter 1 and the second is for chapter with 2. That's where I'm not going to talk it. And next learning objectives I expect from you is that you're going to be able to explain how organizational ethical issues affect HR management. So here is ethical issue or business ethics. We got a course relating to this. That is business ethics. And I'm a teacher actually. I'm a lecturer, teach this course at IU and other universities. That business ethics very interesting points. But today we're not going to talk on this. The only small one of the ethic issues and is actually related closely to HR because we learn HR. And the last learning objectives is that you're going to be able to explain the key competencies needed by HR professionals. So what competence that HR professionals need and why certification is important. That is about learning objective. So of course, how can you get it? Of course, I won't say, I will not say that you're gonna get this learning objectives if you listen to me. Yes, you said you can do so, but it's not enough because English sometimes it's difficult to understand. I understand that, I know that. So while you listen to my presentation, listen to my lesson, I suggest you go to read the book, textbook. So just read chapter 1. I just I have uploaded already on MS Teams. Learned it, combined with what you learned from me today, then to get a voice. Okay. So I try my best actually. In some cases, translate it into Vietnamese, but it's very limited. I don't want to translate much actually because your program is set up in English, and what school they expect from me that to teach you in English, not Vietnamese. But of course, if there are important words and everyone get, misunderstanding, then I try to do it in Vietnamese. But if you don't like so, just let me know, okay? Right? That's it. So now we're gonna go through the first one. So what is human resource management? The first thing very important that you should understand, you should now clearly in English of this course. Okay, in Vietnamese, that I know everyone understands it, that quản trị nguồn nhân lực. All right, and never get confused with quản trị nhân sự. It's different. We are professional learning. Remember that you guys are professional learners of HR, and you should be understanding clearly of these terms. Human resources management. In Vietnamese, it's quản trị nguồn nhân lực. It's not quản trị nhân sự. Quản trị nhân sự going to be personnel management. So that can be clear, okay? Now, go back to this. So what is human resources management or HRM, all right? So in short, you can say HR, HRM, or HR, or HRM, okay, HRM, okay, to set the HRM. So it is, we say, we can define this, that design of formal systems in an organization to manage human talents for accomplishing organizational goals. In easy way to understand that human resources management is that managing people in the workplace to get the goals, right? Just easy that you're going to manage people, manage staff or employees to get organizational goals. And how can you manage it? Of course, you're going to learn it later. For example, how can you going to recruit? How can you retain? How can you evaluate employees' performance, training, career development, etc. So we're going to learn this step by step. At least from this slides, we understand what is human resource management. That's managing people. All right. Now I'm going to open a video, of course, in YouTube. It's going to explain basically about human resource management, and then you're going to get several points, several key terms from these videos, and then I'm going to ask you actually to share with the class what you hear, right? Now let's go through this video.
Tired of cold calling?
Oh, let me share the screen. Sorry. Advertising video. Let me change the screen. Okay. All right, the basis human resource management. Hopefully we get the correct one.
Introducing Lucia, the easiest, most...
All right, here is this. The basis human resource management.
When sporting teams and work teams have plans to improve themselves or simply have a vacancy, the coach or manager usually calls in a specialist to find new talents. In companies, that specialist is the HR or human resources manager. HR staff kick into action and start the search for interested recruits. Recruiting is a huge part of making great teams. From the group of wannabes, HR staff use their knowledge and experience to find the best person for the job. HR managers are a vital link in the company's overall structure, making sure that the people match the company's purpose. But human resources staff do much more than find stars for the team. They provide expert advice to managers about how they can improve their team's performance and suggest training options to optimize staff potential. HR staff also monitor well-being, look after safety needs, and sometimes act as intermediaries. Both sides need HR when differences arise. And importantly, they make sure people get paid fairly. They then follow up to ensure when jobs change, so does the pay. Keeping capable staff saves time and money in the long run, so HR managers play a big part in staff retention. In a big company, helping people along a successful career path is part of this responsibility. HR managers can make a big difference when they connect the right people. They help shape the business by facilitating change. Then everyone benefits. HR experts are employed all over the world, which allows for great overseas employment opportunities. So in summing up, human resources recruit team members, advise on team performance, oversee staff training options, monitor well-being, facilitate change, organise salary payments, and resolve grievances.
Created using Powtoon.
All right. Okay, so go back to presentation slides. and we're gonna discuss this. So what you hear from that video, just tell me, just maybe just one words what you hear. So what it is human resource management, what they do. Okay, so I'm gonna pick up someone. All right. Who that? Okay, QUỳnh, go ahead.
I heard about the recruitment and the selection people who match the company purpose.
Yes, good.
And I also hear that HR plays a big part in that company and help shape the business. And that's the.
All right, so very good, QUỳnh. Thank you so much. Yes, that's the thing. That's a general thing that when we talk about the HR, that we understand what they do, relating to recruit staff, relating to training, relating to payments, etc. And that videos has provided us those things. All right, thank you so much, QUỳnh. Okay, one more. Okay, I'm gonna ask one more. So today, I mean, this quiz, I'm not going to marking, but next week when I get student list, so everyone has answer voluntary like this, like one, and then you get the points. All right, but not this week. Okay, but next week, when then remember the next week, if you do like this, you volunteer to answer the question like this, so very good, then you get a point from me. All right, so that is encouraging. I want to encourage everyone to speak it up. To keep conversation, to improve your communication. All right. So I also actually gonna pick up randomly someone from the list to answer this. So make sure that everyone get the chance to join the question. Lâm Võ, Thảo, Vi. Thảo Vi, you there? No. Nguyễn Ngọc Lan Thảo. No. Nguyễn Thị Yến Nhi.
Yes.
All right, good. So what you hear from that video, Nhi, could you share with the class, please?
These are
Go ahead. Yến go ahead.
teacher. I do the week network. I can hear smart.
All right, that's good. Okay, you can't hear the video, right?
Yes.
All right, thank you, Nhi. All right, that's gonna be fine. Okay, so we're gonna move to the next presentation. Okay, the next slide. All right, so thank you everyone to join me on this discussion. Let's see. All right, so make sure that you still get my presentation. Okay, so if you don't get my presentation slides, so just let me know. So here an example of typical division of HR responsibilities, and we're gonna mention about the selection interviewing. So remember that, guys, when you work as HR staff, one of the things you're gonna do is that recruiting staff. In Vietnamese is that nhân viên tuyển dụng. So for that reason, you have to work with selection interviewing. You have to set up that interview schedule. So a lot of things you're gonna do. And now here, let's see what you're gonna do. And in the example, Now HR department and manager. So you see that here HR department, HR staff, they're going to do develops legal effective interviewing techniques, right? So what does it mean, techniques? So now you see, in case you get a problem like this COVID-19, remember that on the, because COVID-19 actually has more than 2 years, and business, they can't, keep, stopping working. They need to survive, they need to do business. That way they need people. So in this case, you need to recruit. So as HR staff and taking responsibilities over recruitment, over selection. So what you're gonna do? Now you have to thinking that what platform you're gonna use. You can't ask candidates from other provinces go to Ho Chi Minh City to have in-person interview. You can't do so because it is very strict, very strictly traveling because social distancing regulation. And that's why you have to think of online interview. But at HR staff, you should understand what, uh, bad side effect or side effect of this tool, all right? The second, that you have to train managers in conducting selected interviews. So for the interviews, not only HR departments, you have to invite manager, you have to invite other departments. For example, you're going to recruit accountant, right? Right. So you have to invite the leader or the managers of accounting or financial department to join the interview board. But of course, they don't understand how to conduct the interview because it's not their job. So as HR staff, you have to train them. You have to provide them that what they're gonna do and how can they access candidates to make sure that they understand this candidate gonna be fitting with job requirements, right? You're gonna do like that. Conduct interviews and tests, send top applicants to managers to for final interview, check references. What's references? So for every CV, remember that if you are a job seekers, that you understand that what is CV, right? What is cover letter. So in the CV, you have to provide referee, that the one the you provide the name of a person or two people. So the company going to contact these people, going to understand you. They're going to ask that. So this guy just applied job for us. So what do you think? This guy just sent us. You're going to be his or her referee. So can you say something about these guys? They are good or not good? Something like that. Or it is trust or not trust. And those final interview and hiring for content job classifications. That means you're gonna preparing, labor working contract. That is HR staff doing. It's just example of typical division of HR responsibilities. So we know the definition that HRM is design of formal system in an organization to manage human talent for accomplishing organization goals. So now we know specific jobs. And of course, next week we're gonna go through specific these roles. So today just provide, the big pictures of HR job to make sure that you understand it. Right? That HR do, HR staff do. Now let's see what manager they're gonna do relating to selecting interviewing. They advise HR of job openings that relating to job adverts or job advertisement. Decide whether to do on final interviewing. Receive interview training from HR units. Do final interviewing and hiring where appropriate. Review reference information and provide feedback to HR department on hiring or rejection decisions. Now, why does an organization need HR management? So do we need HR department? Let me tell you, it's happened in US and other countries, and even in our country as well. Now you can see, especially in the public sector, in public agency, there are not many organizations have separate department of HRM. So normally they put HRM jobs in Department of Administration or General Department. Let me translate it into Vietnamese. Okay. Nếu các bạn nhìn thực tế nhiều cái tổ chức công và các cái doanh nghiệp dường như người ta không có một cái bộ phận chuyên trách về nhân sự, mà người ta lồng ghép cái hoạt động nhân sự trong các cái phòng hành chính, cho nên mới có phòng hành chính, hoặc trong phòng tổ chức, hoặc trong phòng tổng hợp. Đấy, bởi lúc này người ta chưa nhìn nhận HR như là một cái bộ phận quan trọng, thành thử người ta lồng ghép nó. Và sau này đó, later on, business they recognize HR as important as other departments. Sau này thì họ mới nhận ra cái bộ phận HR này nó quan trọng như các cái bộ phận khác. Thì sau đó người ta mới tách nó riêng thành một cái phòng, đó là phòng nhân sự. Phòng nhân sự or personnel departments thì nó cũng đơn thuần giải quyết những vấn đề về nhân sự, chứ chưa đi sâu vào cái nội hàm của công ty, những vấn đề chính, mà xoay quanh làm những vấn đề nào là checking, tracking, tức là đi kiểm tra xem nhân viên có làm việc hay là không này, đưa ra các nội quy quy định này, làm bảng lương này, rồi ký tá các soạn thảo các cái bản hợp đồng, rồi các cái bản thông báo tuyển dụng, rồi tìm kiếm nhân viên, hoặc lập kế hoạch định biên sa thải, tuyển dụng, về hưu, bảo hiểm xã hội, rất nhiều việc. Sau này người ta mới thấy HR nó làm rất nhiều việc, thì nó mới tách ra thành cái phòng personnel là phòng nhân sự. Nhưng mà người ta vẫn chưa xem là HR thực sự nó mang lại cái lợi ích. Sau này ở các cái doanh nghiệp lớn ở nước ngoài, especially Western countries, các cái nước phương Tây, thì người ta thấy HR nó quan trọng. Mà hôm nay chúng ta sẽ học đó là core competency, năng lực cốt lõi. Nó mang lại, nó thay đổi mọi thứ là nhờ nhân sự. Thì lúc này người ta mới xem cái HRM như là một cái nguồn nhân lực, cho nên mới có cái tên là human resource. Trước đây mình chỉ biết là natural resource, nguồn tài nguyên thiên nhiên, correct? Natural resource. But now we have human resource, nguồn tài nguyên nhân lực, dịch tiếng Việt là nguồn nhân lực. Và ở các cái doanh nghiệp lớn của doanh nghiệp nước ngoài, người ta bắt đầu xu hướng dùng chính xác từ của nó là human resource department, phòng quản trị nguồn nhân lực. If you don't believe me, you can check. In our country, some business they use exactly the name of the departments because they recognize how human is very important, especially in services industry, đặc biệt trong các ngành dịch vụ. Ở các trường đại học, thầy suggest các bạn xem cái trường đại học kinh tế thành phố Hồ Chí Minh, thì người ta đã có cái bộ phận phòng quản trị nguồn nhân lực, chứ không phải phòng nhân sự hoặc phòng tổ chức như trước đây. Alright, so that means, what does it mean? That means the role of HRM has been recognized as important as other departments, right? Now go back to this question. So why does an organization need HR management? Right. I got example. I got explaining it. Now I would like to hear from you your explanation. So why does an organization need HR management? All right. Who's that? Okay, I got your point here. All right. So now go back to my question. Is that so? Why does an organization need HR management? Okay, so we're going to discuss this case. Let me pick up randomly someone from the list. NGUapplN'N, you there? No. Nguyễn Thu Hiền.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Could you answer that question, please?
Yeah.
Could you answer this question? So why does an organization need HR management?
Can you repeat your question?
All right. So you get my presentation slides on your screen?
Yes.
Yes, you see that. Why does an organization need HR management? Tại sao một tổ chức cần cái quản lý nhân sự? Quản lý nguồn nhân lực.
Trả lời bằng tiếng Việt hả thầy?
To be English, please.
I think because HRM can have the organization about many I think it's useful for organization.
Yeah. So what you think is useful? Why do you think it's useful? So it's what I mean. So HR are gonna have organization with recruiting staff, correct?
Yeah.
And what else? Performance evaluation, salary. I mean paying. Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
That's gonna be fine. Okay, that's gonna be fine. We are learning. That's the way we're gonna practice. So don't worry. Okay. All right. So if you see the picture here, I explained it already actually in Vietnamese. But if you look at the picture I posted on the slide, so you get understand it at least actually. For example, so you can see the HRM or human resources. It's gonna it's gonna provide actual training. Okay, it's gonna recruit employee for the organization. It's gonna working with rewarding that with compensation, and it's gonna bring business value. Why is bring business value? Because HRM gonna be the department that have organization to get good employees. All right, and that we're gonna help them to get performance organizational goals. And of course HM gonna link strategy objectives with all the departments. So a lot of things I mean you can say about HR and why does or an organization need HR management. So as I mentioned earlier, actually in Vietnamese, I said that in the past, business, I mean people will not recognize HR as important as other departments, and there are two views. I mean two perspectives on HRM. Of course, it's got positive and negative perspectives related to HRM. The positive thing is that people think that HR gonna deal with the huge numbers of government regulations. So HR is the department that gonna work with government regulations, government legislation. For example, you see we got a lot of actually government regulation related to the workplace, unions, um, worker rights, interests, and so HR going to work with that. That is what they think. I mean positively. The second is that HR going to protect corporate access against the many legal issues. So because this positive thoughts, that is why some business actually they get HR department, and they also recruit law student graduate from law to work on this department. Another negative for the negative views about HR department is that they said that HR department is too bureaucratic, detail-oriented, and costly, right? And more concerned about activities rather than results. Efforts are seen as seldom linking employees' managerial and business performance. They don't see, the link between HR and organizational performance because the field is not very clear. For example, you see sales department. It's very clear their contribution to organization. They they sell products and they get revenue. They bring revenue to organization. and that the benefits very clearly. But for HR, they don't recognize this. HR only work with people. They're going to recruit people. They're going preparing contract, labor contract, and normally it's go with the cost. I mean, the company going to pay the salary, going to pay, the insurance, the wages, the bonus. They don't see that HR going to bring money, but they are wrong actually, because we bring people and people going to have business, organization to get the benefits. That issue, happen much with small organization. So for small organization, HR is not considered importantly. I got experience actually. I I did the research on employee voice and organizational innovation in small and medium-sized enterprises in Ho Chi Minh City. I get interviews with all the business, and what I recognize, they reported to me that they get their 5 to 10 staff, but half of their staff number are their relatives. I mean, their brothers, their sister, the brother-in-law, and maybe just a half of staff from outside their family. And I say, so do they really, concern much? I mean, are they really concerned much on HR issue? They don't think so. They said that so as the owner of business, they also play at manager, they also play at accounting, they also play as HR departments. They're gonna work on this a lot. And they said that employee, in small business, they always ask, managers had to pay the salary, had to pay high salary, had to pay, the insurance, had to, conforming the regulation from the government relating to worker interest. So that's the thing. But they said that they can't do so because, the cost, that small one. So that's the issue. And that's why, because this is going to lead to HR issue here. Shortage of qualified workers. So if good workers, skilled workers, they normally going to select the big company to work rather than, work for a small one. That is the thing. So that's going to be a problem with small organizations. And it's going to be increasing cost of employee benefits because they asked, had to pay salary. And of course, you have to do so if you want to get their retention, right? Retention, giữ chân họ. You have to pay high salary because you're a small one. Or you have to pay the insurance, bảo hiểm. So that's the thing. Not many small business, small organization has paid the employees insurance. That's the thing. And government regulation compliance is relating to social insurance and other accident insurance you have to pay. But sometimes actually small business they ignoring this. So that's the issue related to HR. All right. So far what we learned, I'm not. The next we're gonna move to another topic that is relating to capital. Human capital relating to core competency. But before we go into this, now look back what we have learned so far. We learned what is human resources, correct? What else? We know what kind of how small organization manage their HRM, and we got HR issues. We got example of HR jobs, and we get a specific example of recruiting, interview, selection, interviews. All right, and we also know that's what people thinking of HR job, and of course they got negative and positive view about this. All right, but what the thing is that we can't deny that HR is very important, and that's why we're going to look through that to see that what kind of organizational access. We got 4 types of organizational access. Vậy là mình sẽ xem xét từ coi, bởi vì xem từ coi là cái HR nó quan trọng như thế nào. Để mình biết được nó quan trọng ra sao thì mình phải xem xét các cái loại hình tài sản của công ty. Alright. So here we got 4 types of organizational access. Ở đây mình có 4 loại hình tài sản của một công ty. We got physical access. So what kind of physical access? This is the thing that you can see. For example, they get factories, they headquarters, they get buildings, right? Facilities, that is, we say physical access. The second is financial access. That's going to be relating to monetary. I mean money, okay? Or intellectual property, right? They're going to pick up someone to give me example of intellectual property access. Right, I'm going to talk it. Phạm Phương Thảo, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Could you give me an example of intellectual property access? Intellectual property. Just an example. I think it's popular now. You can pick up some example relating to this.
I think it's like a recipe of about some department of organization like marketing recipe or sales recipe and how and the recipe to manage staff or
What is it in Vietnamese? You know what intellectual property in Vietnamese?
Yes, cái đó là tài sản về trí tuệ.
Nhưng mà trong chuyên nghiệp thì đó là cái gì? Thương hiệu đó. Em thấy thương hiệu nó đâu có nhìn được cái, đâu có sờ được nó đâu, nhưng mà nó có giá trị cao lắm. Ví dụ như em thấy, em biết các cái chiến lược trong marketing nhượng quyền đúng không?
Yeah.
Cấp phép nhượng quyền này kia đó, thì dường như là người ta bán cái thương hiệu đó. Ví dụ em bây giờ em thấy là có Pepsi này đúng không, rất nổi tiếng này. Bây giờ em cũng làm ra nước ngọt, nhưng mà em không thể bán nước ngọt mà em gắn cái chữ Pepsi vào ở chai nước của em để em bán. Thì em phải em phải trả tiền đó. Hay là ví dụ các cái hãng giày mà mọi người đều biết như Adidas này hay Nike, nó không có nhà máy sản xuất mà nó đặt hàng ở các cái sản xuất giày, các cái công ty sản xuất giày ở Bangladesh, ở Ấn Độ hoặc Việt Nam. Sau đó nó có cái giày rồi nó mới dán cái thương hiệu của nó lên, Adidas hoặc Nike. But of course, dĩ nhiên là nó vẫn cung cấp cái format, cái size bảo những cái công ty này sản xuất. Như vậy các bạn thấy cái thương hiệu rất quan trọng. That's cái kind of access. Alright. For example, now think of phở 24 giờ. So this kind of intellectual property. Phở 24 giờ các em thấy Sài Gòn cũng có vài quán nhưng mà không phải ai cũng bán được. Em phải mua cái thương hiệu người ta để em mua cái đặt tên đó, em phải mua cái tên đó đó. Alright, get that? Okay, Phương Thảo, thank you. So, so we know so far we understand that basically there are 4 types of organizational access: physical access, financial access, intellectual property, and very important that we're going to talk today is that human access, tài sản con người. All right, we're going to focus on this. So the first we understand that what is human resource management, what we're going to learn, and this is the name of this course. That means we're going to manage people effectively, okay, to get organizational goals. And we also know that in a small organization, HR have been, ignoring. But in reality, so HR is kind of department, it's kind of access. I mean, human is one of 4 access of organization. So why human gonna be considering as an access of organization? Bây giờ mình sẽ xem xét tại sao mình nói nhân lực được xem như là cái tài sản của công ty. Bây giờ mình phải xem nó nhé. Because it's gonna be relating to cái môn này, human resource management, quản trị nguồn nhân lực. Now we have to focus on this. We're going to look through how human or HR contributes to organization. Bây giờ mình sẽ xem xét các slide tiếp theo, mình sẽ xem được coi là vậy cái HR này, cái nhân sự này, cái nhân viên này họ đóng góp vào cái vào cái hiệu quả của tổ chức như thế nào. The first thing is that human capital. We should understand human capital. That including, we say, collective value of capabilities, knowledge, skills, life experiences, and motivation of an organizational workforce. So this is what human capital. So if you get, qualified workers, so that's gonna be good, right? You can make any differences. You can get competitive advantage. So again, what is human capital? Human capital is collective value of capabilities, knowledge, skills, life experiences, and including actual motivation is it additive. Yeah. Knowledge, skills, and life experiences, and motivation. So that is the reason when you're going to apply a job, so every employers, they ask you, they're going to look through what is your capabilities, what is your knowledge, what is your skills, what is your experiences, and how these things can contribute to organizational performance, right? And another thing is that motivation, and that is why when you go in apply a job, you're gonna submit not only CV, but you also submit cover letter. So cover letter provide your motivation to organization. You have to say that why you want to get the job, what you can contribute to this company if you get accepted, right? That is a human capital. And it's also called as intellectual capital that reflect following contribution of employees. That's going to be thinking, that's going to be knowledge, that's going to be creativity, that's going to be decision making. So that's going to be the capital, going to be access. Now go back to my research. I get interviewed with a owner of business. I asked about employee voice in the workplace. He's actually the owners of a small business. He gets 7 staff, and he manages, and he was a deputy managers and his actually sister of accounting and other staffs from outside their family. And I asked him about this. How do you feel? How do you think of staff? I mean, human in the workplace. And he told me that he said that staff is very important, and he gave me an example of contribution from his staff. He said that last week, sorry, not last years before COVID-19 happened, everything that's electing, to report, she only use the normal way, like an email or just face-to-face meeting. But when uh, he recruited this staff, these guys, she go, to present a lot of ideas. The first he changed, he asked him to use, the Google Sheets, like Google Doc, Google Sheets. So everyone gonna, contribute the ideas directly on this. They can work online. And he also actually consult him to use software that relating to accounting and a business manage. I mean, the general management of a business. So that kind of thinking, I mean, the ideas is like intellectual capital. That's why we see that employee is very important. Okay, HR is very important. Another thing, let me give you an example. So if you know that in the world we have university ranking, right? And I got experience actually when I was in Australia. UNISA, University of South Australia, and University of Adelaide University, and UNISA. The two universities, and their campus, very close, very close. They share the campus. So sometimes you get confused between the buildings in the same campus, but some buildings belong to UNISA, some buildings belong to University of Adelaide. But although they're the same campus, they have the same buildings. I mean, they have the same facilities, but relating to ranking, the University of Adelaide is ranked among 100 top 100 university, best university in the world. Meanwhile, the UNISA is ranked among 300 top 300 university. So why different the people, the lecturer, the human make Adelaide University different majorly from UNISA? All right, so that is why we say HRM as a core competency. So you see that at the moment, actually, many business, I mean, especially foreign owner business, they focus much on a HR department, and they got actually very strong HR teams, and these, HR teams going, to attack good people, good qualified staff to the business. So they do a lot of things to get good people, and these people are gonna have, business to get good performance to compete successfully on the market. And that is why we can see HRM as a core competency. So what is core competency? In Vietnamese, we can translate this like năng lực cốt lõi, năng lực chính yếu. So what gonna be core competency? Money or technology, or what else? Or land, or facilities, or people, right? Let me pick up someone to answer this. Nguyễn Thanh Dung.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So, can you tell me, so which kind of access that going to be considered as core competency? Các cái loại tài sản nào được xem là năng lực cốt lõi của một công ty? Which one? Money, building, facilities, IT, etc. So which one you think gonna be core competency? Core competency that gonna make the business, I mean the organization, is different from others to get successful competition. For example, you can take an example of Apple. So you get an iPhone here, right? You get an iPhone, you see. You know iPhone? Dung?
Yeah.
Right? You see the iPhone. So why it is very expensive? Why people like this? And what is different from others? And why Apple can make that different from Samsung, from others, rest of phone brands. So which one is going to be, which path, which access going to be a core competency of a organization? Before you're going to get examples, you should understand that is what is core competency. That we say the unique capability, cái năng lực khác biệt, or duy nhất, đặc thù. But had to create high value, nhưng mà nó phải tạo ra giá trị nghe. And differentiates an organization from its competitors. Nó là những cái năng lực đặc thù nhưng phải tạo ra giá trị cao. Nó làm cho cái công ty này khác với đối thủ cạnh tranh. Và nó là cái nhân tố cơ bản, nhân tố quyết định giúp công ty đạt được lợi thế cạnh tranh. Đó người ta gọi là core competency. Alright, now go back to organization. So which one gonna be a core competency? Vậy cái nào theo em nghĩ là cái năng lực cốt lõi của một công ty? Ở đây là năng lực cốt lõi thì nó lại là tức là nó tạo ra cái khả năng khác biệt, khả năng duy nhất mà đóng góp tạo ra giá trị cao, làm cho công ty khác biệt với công ty khác, giúp cho công ty duy trì và giành được lợi thế cạnh tranh. Theo em đó là cái gì?
I think human.
Right. Why you think human? Why you don't say robot? Why you don't say IT? But human. Explain it.
Because they bring they have they great resource and and they are creative.
Okay. Go ahead. Okay, Jung, thank you. Okay, we're gonna move. Okay, because we need to set the time. Okay, thank you. So we're gonna be back actually. For the next slides, we got a lot of questions actually to discuss. So don't worry, we're gonna move next. Now I'm going to. Yes, you are correct, Jung. You are correct that HR is a core competency, right? So I can find that what you're gonna explain it. So here is the thing. So why employees as a core competency? Because we're gonna explain this by focusing on these aspects. The first, how HR or employee contribute to productivity. The second is that how HR contribute to customer services and how HR contribute to organizational culture development or build up. All right, we're going to focus on this. So the first thing that we know that HR has significant contribution to organizational productivity, cái hiệu suất tổ chức, cái nhân lực, bộ phận nhân lực nó đóng góp đến cái hiệu suất tổ chức nhé. Nhiều lúc người nghĩ nó đâu có làm gì đâu mà đóng góp. Cái hiệu suất là do nhân viên nó làm, nhân viên phòng sản xuất hoặc nhân viên marketing hoặc nhân viên bán hàng làm, chứ có thấy nhân sự nó làm gì đâu mà nó đóng góp. So today you can understand. But before we go into understand that, now we go to think of what is a productivity. Productivity của hiệu suất, that is the measure. Đó là cái cách thức người ta đo lường về cái quantity, số lượng, and quality, và chất lượng công việc mà làm được. Well, of course, we're gonna considering the cost of the resource use. Và dựa trên tiết kiệm chi phí. Cái hiệu suất nghĩa là mình đạt được cái mục tiêu với chi phí thấp. Nếu mình đạt được mục tiêu nhưng mà với chi phí mắc đắt đỏ thì không gọi là productivity rồi. And another thing relating to productivity that unit labor cost, chi phí trên đơn vị lao động. That a measure of HR productivity computed by dividing the average cost of workers by their average level of output. Mình so sánh cái chi phí lao động và cái đầu ra của họ. So two things. Remember that when we're going to talk about organizational productivity, so productivity we're going to measure of its quantity and quality work done. The second is that the unit labor cost. Now, here is the way HR approaches to improving productivity. All right. So again, let me back to previous thing. We said that HR is as a core competency, right? And we explain it. We explain the reason is that because HR has significant contribution to productivity, and we understand what is productivity is relating to quality, quantity of work done, considering the cost. Now we go to look through this. So how can HR approach to this, or how can HR improve organizational productivities? There are four things we're going to look through here. Organization restructuring, tái cấu trúc tổ chức. Who's going to do this? HR. And what thing they're going to work relating to this? You see, revising organizational structure, reducing staff, aiding and mergers and acquisitions. It is this, I mean, approach has been demonstrated as during the COVID-19. So when COVID-19 happened, every business, locked down, even actually shut down. So for survival, they had to restructuring the organization. And who's gonna do it? Who's gonna do it? HR. So HR gonna, they work a lot on this. They're gonna recognize. So who's gonna be, for laying off? Who's gonna be, cut off, sa thải, hoặc nằm chờ việc, relating to salary, right? And when we move to online working, so how can we control employees working, employees productivity? How can we track their work? Làm sao mình kiểm soát được việc của họ? So a lot of things that HR gonna do. A second is resigning work. Here, that changing workloads and combining jobs, reshaping jobs because of technology changes. They also work as outsourcing analysis and aligning HR activities. Here, aligning activities, HR activities, we got attracting and retaining employees, training, developing, evaluating employees, compensating employees, and other HR activities. Right. Now, the second one, we're going to explain here. Remember that here, we just finished this, okay? Let me change the color here. We finish this. Now we're going to explain this. So how employee gonna contribute to customer service? Yeah. We say that HR gonna affect organizational effectiveness. HRM gonna contribute to customer services quality. So I got a question here, but before this, I'm gonna explain you, because if you read actually the research in the research journals, I just presented already. I mean, I just provided you as a passive journal of human resources. Then you get the points. So many research show that customer services or customer satisfaction, has positive relation with employee satisfaction at the workplace, especially in the field of industry, service industry. For example, banking, for example, tourism, for example, hospitalities, for example, restaurants. So in these services, employees are required to be, um, start addressing customer satisfaction. So that's the reason when you go to the bank, you see, some people are there and very welcome you, right? For example, if you go to MB or you go to for example, MB, you go to MB and you see that a lot of people go to help you from the security. When you go through the bank, the security go to take care of your motorbike, and when you access to the building, the people there gonna help you to get the number for you, the ordering number, and they don't want to make you feel very, pressure to wait for a long time. So they try a lot of things actually to help you, and you see every day that their face very happy. Why they had to do so? Of course, behind that is the HRM. HRM, for example, in some company, HRM create the measurement scales of employees, customer satisfaction. For example, they're gonna review employees' performance based on customer satisfaction. For example, now let's take example of Grab. So everyone take Grab. If you go to travel by Grab, at the end, when you finish your routine, your travel, and what you see, Grab asks you to raise the star. How many stars you can raise your driver? So it's same as the bank, what I just mentioned. Employees, customer gonna be do it after they work with the bank. They go back to see, so are they happy or not happy or satisfied? They're gonna pick up the emoji or the star for this for a staff in the workplace. So if staff they get, if staff get customer satisfied with the service, then they get promoted, they get a salary increase, and they're gonna be happy to relate to that. So to see behind this, we have HR support. And the same issue, if you go through all the bank, the one that HR is not considered important. So you can see that the same bank, but the way bank staff treat you differently. You see that people in that very bureaucratic, not very friendly, right, etc. Because they don't have, HR in that department, not create the measurement scales of their performance relating to customer satisfaction. Right, so I'm gonna explain it in Vietnamese to make sure that you understand it. Bây giờ thầy ví dụ này để mình nhìn rõ cái HR này nó đóng góp đến cái chất lượng cái dịch vụ chăm sóc khách hàng như thế nào. Thầy ví dụ như các em ở đây đặc biệt là các cái ngành về dịch vụ, ngân hàng này, tài chính này, nhà hàng này, khách sạn này, du lịch, tất cả những cái lĩnh vực này nó liên quan đến con người. Khi các em tới một cái ngân hàng nào đó thì tự nhiên mình thấy rất là satisfied, rất là happy, đúng không? Vừa bước vào tới sân là chú bảo vệ đã dắt dùm xe của mình rồi khi vào building, đi vào nhà rồi thì có người giúp mình, hỗ trợ mình check Covid, khai báo y tế rất nhanh, rồi có người giúp mình bóc số khỏi phải chờ, và có người hỏi thăm, thậm chí có cả nước uống, máy lạnh, ngồi một tí là tới việc mình làm rất nhanh, rất gọn và đi về. Tại sao lại như thế? Đó là customer service. Tại sao khách hàng, tại sao nhân viên ở ngân hàng đó người ta lại làm như thế, và lúc nào người ta cũng tươi cười. Đằng sau đó là HR đó, đóng góp của HR, bộ phận nhân sự. Có thể bộ phận nhân sự người ta đưa ra những cái thang đo để đánh giá hiệu suất của nhân viên dựa trên sự hài lòng của khách hàng. Họ sẽ đo, ví dụ nhân viên khách hàng sẽ được đo lường dựa trên sự hài lòng của khách hàng. Nếu sau khi mà khách hàng làm việc, khách hàng sẽ chọn cái emoji, cái khuôn mặt happy đó thì tốt. Nếu như một nhân viên mà nhận được nhiều cái khuôn mặt happy từ khách hàng thì sau 1 tháng họ sẽ được phòng HR đề xuất nâng lương, thì rõ ràng ai cũng sẽ happy, đúng không? Đó, các bạn thấy cái đóng góp của HR thế nào. Bây giờ cũng một ví dụ ngân hàng đó, các bạn sẽ thấy ở đây rõ ràng nhất ở Sài Gòn này. Em tới ngân hàng, vừa bước vào giữ xe, không biết gửi chỗ nào, loay quay mãi là nó bị ông bảo vệ la một trận rồi. Xong rồi gửi xe rồi bắt đầu bước vào cái building, bị la tiếp một trận nữa. Tại sao không khai báo y tế? Đã tiêm vaccine chưa? Rồi khai báo xong, khai báo mà không có mạng, bởi vì thằng ở ngân hàng ở đó nó không có cho free wifi, rút cuộc phải dùng cái điện thoại mua cái data để vào wifi, access xong đi vào, trong kia vừa nóng nực vừa chờ, bóc cái số, chờ mãi không thấy, tới hỏi chị ơi cho em hỏi vậy em muốn rút tiền em làm ở đâu, đi ra ngoài chờ, đi ra chờ, bóc số tiếp, chờ đến sắp hết rồi, tới 11 giờ trưa chạy tới hỏi chị ơi nãy giờ em bóc số em không được, em không biết làm cái này như thế nào, bây giờ hết giờ làm việc rồi nhé, chiều lên làm tiếp. Đấy, như vậy tụi em thấy sẽ khác nhau ở chỗ đó. Chứng tỏ cái HR đó có thể người ta không có đánh giá cái hiệu suất của nhân viên dựa trên cái hài lòng của khách hàng. Alright, so it's relating to performance evaluation, lại liên quan đến cái việc đánh giá thành tích này kia, và ai sẽ làm cái đó là HR. Another example related to HR, một vài cái ví dụ về cái HR đó, sau này các bạn sẽ thấy là nó là về cái đánh giá thành tích. Tại sao có những cái chỗ công ty một người không biết làm gì hết, không có đóng góp nhiều về cái vấn đề tài chính của công ty, nhưng mà luôn được khen thưởng bởi vì anh ta đá bóng giỏi, bởi vì anh ta đi diễn văn nghệ, hát hay, múa dẻo là được thưởng, trong khi một cái nhân viên bán hàng cực lực đi dưới nắng dưới mưa, da đen sạm lại không được thưởng. Liệu như thế nhân viên họ có hài lòng không? Họ có đóng góp không? Họ sẽ không làm. Alright, so that a lot of things actually relate to HR. We can understand it. So in case you're going to be HR, that you should understand that how can you do it. We get a question here. So how do HRM practices improve customer satisfaction? I get my example. Now I want to hear from you. Okay. So think of this. How do HRM practices improve customer satisfaction? Right. So you got 5 minutes to think of this, and then I'm gonna be back to pick up randomly someone from the list to answer me. Okay. Okay, so we have 4 minutes before taking a break. So I'm gonna ask maybe just one people from the list to answer this. Okay, gonna be Lan Thảo, Nguyễn Ngọc Lan Thảo như thế. No. Nguyễn Huỳnh Giao. No. Đặng Minh Trâm.
Yes.
All right. Could you answer this question, please?
HRM practice improve customer satisfaction. Maybe interact with customer quickly and friendly.
Who interact with customer quickly and friendly? HR staff or other staff? You get my question, Trâm? Remember that HR not going to work with customer. Okay, HR staff, they work actually inside with the employee. They're not going to work with customers. So how can they improve? How can they improve customer satisfaction?
Creating great experiences is the way to make customers happy.
All right. So that's gonna be kind of job evaluation for staff. All right. Thank you, Trâm.
Yes, thank you.
All right. So okay. So we're gonna take a break now. So we're gonna be back after 15 minutes. Okay. So, right, guys, can be back. Now we go to the next section of this tutorial. So we just stop at here. Right, this discuss, for example, how do HRM practices improve customers' satisfaction. Now we're going to go to the next one because we mentioned that human resources, I mean HR, as a core competencies, and because it has actually three contributions to organization that including productivity, customer service, and another side that organizational culture. Okay, so relating to organizational culture, I think it's everyone knows that not only from this course, but all the courses also mentioned this last that organizational culture. And relating to this, I mean organizational culture, some aspects of it that is visible. Visible, that means you can see it, you can touch it, but also aspects of organizational culture, you can't see it. It's, could say, invisible. It's relating to perception of employee working in that organization. Okay, but when we talk about this, so remember that organizational cultures that mean in this workplace people are gonna share values and beliefs in an organization. So people can understand what actually the organization expect from them and how they're gonna behave with order and how to serve the customer as well. And involves over a period of time, it provides employees with rules for behavior, and it's constant and enduring. Remember that it's constant and enduring. It's not going to finish just 1 year, 2 years, but if you said that this organizational culture, they're gonna finish after change managers, that's gonna be not actually really organizational culture. It's gonna be the norms of organization. Okay, and of course, it's gonna constitute organizational climates that's related to work atmosphere, right? Feeling about workplace atmosphere, and of course, they're gonna be affecting service and quality and organizational productivity and financial results as well. We're gonna get two videos that presenting organizational cultures clearly, and I'm gonna shout them up later. But uh, before we're going to look at that, at that videos, I would like to explain again for this term organizational culture. So um, the visible aspect of organization or visible size of organizational cultures that you can see is relating to, you see, that regulation or organization or code of conduct, or you can see that it's uniform that employees of a organization they have, or we say outfits or dread codes. Okay, you may hear some words that use dread codes or outfits or uniform. All right, for example, UFM, University of Finance and Marketing, we have actually our own uniform. Okay, for students and staff as well. IU also got not uniform, but we got our logo. We got the color that you see. Our building get the red color, right? So that kind of people going to build up their organizational culture from the visible aspects. I'm gonna be back soon, guys. All right. I just stop at the visible aspects of organizational culture. That means the side that you can see, okay? For example, the uniform, the color, logo, philosophy, of organization that provided on their website. That's going to be kind of, organizational culture. And this make actually organization itself different from others. Now I'm going to show you two videos. One is about the organizational culture of Netflix, and another one is that organizational culture of Google. Okay, so let's go with the first one. I don't know what this does it work. Right, is Netflix culture. Let me share
the biggest reason why.
Sorry. Right, here it is.
Freedom and responsibility drives. The biggest reason why freedom and responsibility drives the success of Netflix is it encourages us all to be big risk takers. So what does freedom and responsibility mean to me? It means three things. One, there's trust. I'm being trusted to make the right decisions in the best interest of Netflix. Number two is self-discipline. I have the self-discipline to exercise good due diligence and good judgment. And the third thing is accountability. I'm accountable for the outcomes of my decision, whether they're good or bad.
Freedom and responsibility to me is the gateway to creativity. When you have someone telling you what you can do and not what you can't do, to me, that's a very liberating framework in which to function.
What I like the most about freedom and responsibility is I think it speaks to the intelligence of people. You're trusting people by default. You step in a company, you're new, we're asking you to be thoughtful, to find the context, but actually we're giving you responsibilities, we're giving you the trust.
I think for me, I try to separate the two. I have the freedom to make the best decisions for the business, for my life, and responsibility is for me to make sure that the freedom in those decisions creates a positive impact for the business, for myself, for my family. That's how I look at it.
Freedom and responsibility means having the autonomy to make my own choices. It doesn't mean that I can do whatever I want.
It is freedom to make the right decisions for the business. It's not freedom to do what I want to do in any given moment. For me, it felt like I was being employed by somebody who recognized I was a sensible grown-up.
In many cases, we mistake having the freedom to take decisions with not having to listen to others. I think freedom and responsibility speaks about the trust that is deposited in you to make that call at the end of the day, but it should be a consequence of all those conversations we've had with your peers, not taking decisions by yourself and not considering the context and the people around you.
At any other company, you constantly have all this red tape and all these people you have to get through, but having a manager that leads by example, that constantly explains it, that points out examples of how someone's really doing it well, I think is what I've always appreciated.
The one piece of advice that I would give to a new person at Netflix is to be confident that you are the person who knows what is best for Netflix in your business and in your market.
You were hired here as an expert, and reminding you of that and knowing that you have that in you, it's just a matter of like taking that step back and allowing you that freedom then to do it on your own. You definitely do that. You're so great. You're great.
Ask yourself, have I tried something different today? If it's uncomfortable, seek advice from peers. Have them help you vet it.
Be vulnerable and accept that we all make mistakes. Nobody comes here knowing everything. And there is no magic wand. We all take our time to understand and digest information. And this is totally fine.
To those people struggling with it, I say embrace it because it's really empowering. And those people who latch onto it as a buzzword and think it's really simple, just stop, take a moment, think
think about how deep it is. Think about the nuances of these words and think about what it really means.
You already possess these qualities anyway, and I feel that intuitively, freedom and responsibility are traits that are inherent to us on an everyday basis.
So right, that is about Netflix culture. So remember that the main point from this video. Okay, we're gonna be back to discuss on this. Okay, the next. So let me back to the next one. Go back to the presentation slide. Second one is Google organizational culture. All right, here it is. Step share.
Hi, yeah, this is Mr. Zuckerberg. The hardest part of my job is cold calling and getting in touch with the right people.
Introducing Lucia, the perfect tool for any company size. Simply find your target on LinkedIn and click on Show.
Hang on. Got a knot in your back? Schedule a massage. Looking for inspiration? Attend a talk with a world leader.
Starts with an open internet.
Or pop icon.
The most important thing, I think, with creativity is that you honor your creativity.
Free gourmet meals and shuttle rides aren't unheard of in Silicon Valley. But why does Google go above and beyond? Now that I've been spending a little bit of time here at the Googleplex, soaking up the corporate culture, chatting with Googlers, I'm starting to pick up on a trend. See if you can spot it.
We are constantly looking to figure out, any type of program that will make Googlers happier, healthier, and more productive.
They can collaborate and they can do the work in the most productive manner.
We are, at the forefront of making people decisions and figuring out how to have a really productive workforce.
Be more productive,
and super productive.
In the last 14 years, Google has gone from 2 employees to over 32,000, making it tough to preserve its nimble and industrious startup days. To recapture that vibe, Google hires people analysts like Jessica Wisdom.
We want to make them healthy and we want to make them happy. And the ultimate goal is, of course, to keep them here, to keep them, engaged in their work. And research does show that when people are happy, they're more engaged in their work and more productive.
But Google doesn't subscribe to typical HR philosophies. This is the company whose data mining strategies created a multi-billion-dollar business. Google knew providing free, flavorful meals on campus would keep workers from straying too far from their desks. But it didn't just hire a chef and tell them to get cooking. It ran experiments, collected results, and analyzed them to carefully craft a healthy and appetizing menu. It goes beyond cafes. When Google opens new office space, it uses practically every methodology in the book.
We have a passion for collecting the right data, analyzing it, and implementing it into every design. So from surveys of each individual person, to interviews, to brainstorms, we've even done psychological profiles over the years.
Hang on. Psychological profiles? Yep. To design its Zurich offices, employees took personality tests. Fascinating, right? But does this sound slightly Orwellian to anyone else?
The other message is, well, why should you ever leave? I mean, we always want you to be here. And to me, the joke I tell is there's a sociological literature on things that are called total institutions. Prisons would be an example of a total institution. I don't know, maybe the army, mental institutions, something you check in, but you never leave.
Sutton labels some Google policies as liberal paternalism, but he says the tech giant truly tries to be a force for good. Still, Googlers must have some gripes, right?
A lot of my passion has kind of been like the social enterprise and social change space. And so part of my main reason of leaving Google was there wasn't quite the opportunity for me there at the time to sort of have those passions built.
a common refrain among ex-Googlers. Eventually, they may want to invest all those long hours on their own project.
So right, so we got two examples of organizational cultures. So in these cases, that they mention actually the invisible aspects of culture. Okay, that means employee perception of the culture in this organization. Okay, so so what you see, what you get from this. So the first, what the culture of Netflix, and what the culture of Google. What you hear from this video. Okay, let me. All right. Okay. I'm gonna pick up randomly, guys, but I'm not sure that's. Okay, Võ Thái Hồng Vi. Võ Thái Hồng Vi, you there? Trần Ngọc Anh Thư. No. Phan Ngọc Kim Ngân.
Yes, I'm here.
All right. So could you share with the class what you hear from those videos? The first, Netflix. So what is their emphasize on their organizational culture? And Google. So what is Google culture? Just pick up maybe one word from those videos. One from Netflix and one from Google. That's enough. All right, Kim Ngân, so let me share that with you, okay? Is that fine? Kim Ngân, you there?
Yeah.
So for Netflix, what they emphasize that freedom and responsibilities, correct? You get that? And for Google, the total loss, but what you can hear is that productive. So you see that two organizations have different cultures. One is focused on freedom and responsibilities, tự do và trách nhiệm. And Google focus on productive. All right? Okay, thank you. Now go back to presentation slides. All right, so we got another question is that, so we still have time, guys. Gonna discuss it. Let me check the time. Need to keep conversation. So by this way, you can improve your communication skills. Okay, we still get for an hour actually. Now we discussed this question that, so okay, here. So could you give some examples of HR activities that would be relating to build up the organizational cultures? Okay, now think of this. You're gonna have maybe 5 minutes to think of this and then sharing your answer to the class, okay? And of course, you're gonna pick up someone to answer to share the answer. So right, guys. Okay, so join me answer this question, please. So could you give some examples of HR activities that would be relating to build up the organizational cultures? All right. So a lot of people reported that they got problem with microphone. I don't use microphone actually. I just speak directly. That's gonna be fine, okay? Again. Okay. Oh, QUỳnh, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Right. Could you share this, please? Answer this question. So, just examples of HR activities that would be related to build up the organizational cultures.
In my opinion, I think they should focus on the people feels like the workplace comfortable enough for them to work, and I think if the staff feel comfortable and they can engage the work more effective.
All right. So that you mean all right. That you mean HR focus on creating comfortably working environment. Correct?
Yeah.
All right. That's good. Okay. So all right. That kind of actually the culture that we say, workplace climate. Okay. Part of organizational cultures. Thank you. All right. So one more. Okay. So that is from QUỳN. Okay. So let me ask another. Okay. Nguyễn Trúc Phương Uyên.
I'm here.
All right. So can you give some examples relating to the contribution of HR to build up organizational cultures?
I think the human resource department carry out activities such as training, developing human resource, ensuring policy and benefits of the enterprise, as well as building a work environment for employees in the enterprise.
Enterprises. All right, that's good. Yep. So providing training for employees in the workplace, that also a part of job of HR, which gonna contribute, to build up organizational culture. Right. Thank you. Who's that? Phương Uyên, correct? Okay, guys. So we're gonna move to the next section. Okay, it's next part. Sorry. That's we're going to talk about the roles of HR management. So we know that HR is considered as a core competency, năng lực cốt lõi, correct? And how this going to be contribute directly and significantly to organization productivities, customer services, and organizational culture. But as a HR, we should understand that what job we're going to do, right? So a lot of people, they graduate from BA and they're going to find out the job. For example, if you're going to find out the job in field of HR, so you should understand that what job you're going to do or what is your roles in HR departments, right? So here you got three roles. The first is administrative, that relates in clerical administration, record keeping, legal paperwork, and policy implementation, right? So this relating to the job, you see that in public agency, I think it's very popular. Công việc hành chính, giấy tờ, đánh máy, văn bản, lưu trữ, đóng dấu, right? The second is your role is that relating to operational and employee advocates, that you're going to cooperate with managers, supervisors, identify and implement needed programs and policies to work organizations. So that's going to be the major now, actually. You're going to work with employees related to their working contract preparing, recruitment, compensation, rewards, trainings, career development, a lot of things. The second, not sorry, the third one is I think is pretty new, and at the moment many people many businesses they're gonna focus on this, especially in Western developed country and big business, I mean corporation, big company that is practices. So now HR roles has been recognized as important as other departments, and they're gonna be linked to strategies management of organization, and that agency that gonna address business realities, focus on future business needs, and fit between human capital and business plans and needs. So what does it mean? I'm not sure if you get the course marketing management. If you get that already, so you can understand it. I'm gonna explain it. For example, if the company focus on cost leadership strategy, then of course for the HR, you should restructuring organization. So you focus on recruiting experienced employees, and when you do the provide job adverts, job announcements, so you should focus emphasize on the experienced employee. You're going to look for experienced employees. Why? Because you're gonna save the cost. If you not focus on experience, you're going to recruit new graduates, so you have to provide training course, training programs that gonna be cost you, and that's gonna increase the cost. So if you increase the cost, so you can't actually follow up the cost leadership strategy in competitive strategy. So in the past, but now look through that, you can see here what the difference. I'm going to highlight it. Okay, here in the past and here the future. So look at this pyramid. So you see in the bottom is administrative roles, and it is in the bottom. That means your major role or your major job can be focused on administrative in the past, because we are not going, people are not going to see how actually HR important, and they think that HR is relating to administrative jobs, and the second job that relating to operational, employee advocates, and very few roles relating to strategies. But it had changed from now, you see, in the future, and now here we forgot on this. So employee, HR, gonna be considering as part of strategies management. They're gonna work on this a lot. They're gonna focus on strategies. They're gonna be conforming with organizational strategy. And the second is their main job is that employee advocates or operational, and administrative going to be the minor role. That different from the past. Okay. All right. So far, what we know is that the HR roles. Again, let me remind of this for you. So the first role is that administrative. The second is an operational role. And the third role of HR is that strategy. So this is going to be relating to HR position in job. If you would like to find job, then you can see some kind of job name like this. HR BP. HR BP. Okay, so it's kind of position of HR professional in the workplace. That means human resource business partners. Right, so that means you get your position gonna be considered very important, and they see you as the partner. It's like a senior position in organization in field of HR. Right, so the next section now we're gonna talk about the HR and organizational ethics. So from beginning, I has mentioned organizational activities or at business activities. So organizational activities is part of business activities. It's going to be part of business activities. And we got a specific course relating to this business activities. So I teach this course actually for students at IU programs and West of Inland University program as well. And so I think it's very good, a very interesting course, and we talk a lot about this actually. But HR is part of this. Now today we're going to look through so how HR relating. I mean how business ethics or organizational ethics linked to HR, đạo đức trong một tổ chức. So you can see that here is the areas of HR that gonna be, gonna be relating to ethical issues. Đây là những cái lĩnh vực trong cái hoạt động của ngành HR đó mà có thể nó gặp những cái trường hợp đạo đức hoặc phi đạo đức trong cái việc mà các bạn ra quyết định đó. The first is compensation, liên quan tới việc trả thù lao, liên quan đến cái việc phát triển development, staffing, bố trí công việc, performance management, quản trị thành tích, hiệu suất, EEO, employee equal employment opportunity, cơ hội tuyển dụng công bằng. In Vietnamese that we say prioritize a policy, chính sách tuyển dụng ưu tiên, and training. Here is ethical so you, I mean, treat ethically or unethically relating to these areas gonna be impact on here the consequences of your behavior that's gonna be impact on job satisfaction, turnover rates, or absenteeism, commitment, your performance, and ethical decisions. So remember this. So what we suggest is that as HR professional, you should focus on this. Everything should be, ethical consideration. Okay. For example, compensation relating to salaries, relating to bonus. So HR gonna work on this, right? You're gonna be the one that who do with this, who will pick up. I mean, people in the workplace and suggest this to the managers to have salary increasing or salary decreasing, right? So you should be, based on the evidence, should be equal treatment. So Mr. A get very good performance and they deserve, to have salary increases. So rather than because belong into your friends, for example, you love this guy, so you try to help him by ask manager to increase his salaries. That's not good. That's unethical treatment. Okay. Or so this is going to be impact on that. If you do something unethical, why that lead to employee, disappointed about job, they're gonna leave the business. They're gonna, do something, bad relating to business. Another side, I think is very important. We got one chapter about this. Is that here, EEO. So I suggest everyone go to read it. EEO, that equal employment opportunity. So for developed countries, for example, what I know is that UK, America, USA, Australia, New Zealand, or Canada, they got this policy EO. That in Vietnamese that we say priority recruitment policy, chính sách tuyển dụng ưu tiên. But in foreign, in developing country or Western country, they don't use that word. They use equal employment opportunity, cơ hội tuyển dụng công bằng. For example, relating disability, ví dụ liên quan đến người tàn tật, chẳng hạn, right? So we can't say that priority, chính sách tuyển dụng ưu tiên in Vietnamese, but in this case we say equal employment opportunity. Mình phải tạo điều kiện cho các bạn mà tàn tật được tuyển dụng, chứ không phải mình ưu tiên các bạn đó. Thường các bạn đó chịu thiệt thòi, bị loại ra khỏi những cái chính sách tuyển dụng của công ty. Thì bây giờ mình tạo điều kiện cho các bạn đó. Ví dụ có ông A, ông B, hai người ngang điểm, ông A này tàn tật thì dĩ nhiên mình sẽ cho ông A, đấy là mang lại cơ hội công bằng, chứ không phải là mình loại ông A này tàn tật, mặc dù ông A với ông B là bằng nhau, nhưng mà vì ông A tàn tật cho mình bỏ ông ta ra, đó là phi đạo đức. Và đó không phải là chính sách EEO. Ở các công ty nước ngoài ta nhấn mạnh EEO là như thế. Alright, so don't think that it's fair here, the same everything. Đừng bao giờ nghĩ công bằng, ông tàn tật và ông bình lành lặn này, hai người thi điểm bằng nhau thì phải lấy ông lành lặn mới đúng là công bằng, chứ không phải ông tàn tật. Như vậy là không đúng. Ông tàn tật nghĩa là ông A phấn đấu 10, nhưng mà ông tàn tật này để ông bằng điểm ông A này, ông ta phải phấn đấu 30 lần như thế. Alright, that is EEO. And of course, I'm not going to say it's in the context of Vietnam. It is what that I'm going to explain EEO, and it is happened actually in Western countries. Cái này thầy đi giải thích dựa trên cái hoàn cảnh của các nước phát triển, họ suy nghĩ như thế. Dĩ nhiên trong hoàn cảnh Việt Nam thì cái đó tùy mỗi người sẽ suy nghĩ, nhưng mà ở nước ngoài đó, nhưng những ví dụ của thầy nếu mình xử lý ngược lại thì nó gọi là unethical treatment. Alright. So when we talk about ethical behaviors and organizational culture, here is the program, ethics programs. The first, we should have this written code of ethics and standards of conduct. This one. So do we have this in Vietnamese enterprises? I would say that we have. Yes. I think every Vietnamese business and organization, we got this. But we use the different words. We don't use code of ethics. We don't use standards of conduct. What we normally use is that behavioral regulation, right? For example, I think in our university, UFM, and in the classroom, we also have regulation, right? When you go to the class, you see regulation that the university regulate you have to do. Okay, for example, don't open phone in the class, for example, like that. That's kind of related code of ethics, all right? And it is written code of ethics. Second, that you get a regulation like that, you get the law, right? But you have to train this to employees to make sure that employees they understand it, okay? Especially for the new employees, right? So for the HR, so you had to do it. For example, when you recruit new staff, you have to provide them orientation program. Chương trình định hướng, mình phải cung cấp cho các bạn mới vào, mới tuyển dụng chương trình định hướng. We're going to train them on our organizational cultures, on our ethical behaviors. Mình phải training các bạn mới vào, các bạn biết về cái văn hóa công ty là gì, giá trị công ty đang theo đuổi, đạo đức của công ty theo đuổi là cái gì. Alright. So HR, you have to do so. And you have to advise to employees on ethical situations. So in case, remember that when we talk about ethicals, it is not very sometimes it's not very clear. It is relating ethics is that mean the standards, wrong or right standards, tiêu chuẩn đúng sai, chuẩn mực cái đúng cái sai. And it depends on the country. Some country gonna be, so we can't use actually our standards of ethics to apply in all the contexts. Remember that, and we got the words is that ethical relativism. Remember that words. One of examples. Sorry, guys. All right. So one of example of this, related ethics is that ethical. You know ethical, correct? What happened with ethical? They get product recalls from Ireland and France because those countries said that mì hảo hảo contain some kind of substances which is not good for people's health, and that's why they don't accept to import this product, this hảo hảo noodle, to their countries. But come back to Vietnam, we use the same product, but relating the percentage of these substances, the company said that they address well the Vietnamese government regulation. That is relating, it's not, now we don't say it's the legal legislation. Here is ethics. It's ethics. It's relating standards, okay? So another thing that relating ethics program elements that systems for confidential reporting of ethical misconduct. Right. So if, of course, some people, some staff in the workplace get misconducts, we have to know how to solve it in confidentially, respect them, respect, personal information confidentially, right? Now we're gonna move to the next to see how ethics and global differences. So as I mentioned earlier, that ethics, it is, wrong or right standards. It's like a normal norms, social norms, and of course it's gonna be different among the countries. That is global differences, and it's differences in legal, political, and cultural values and practices. And global employers must comply with both their home country laws and the laws of other countries. So remember that if you are staff in HR department at FPT Corporation, okay, and remember that FPT get the branches, get the company in Laos, Cambodia, and other countries. And remember that when you go into write down the code of ethics or any workplace regulations, you should understand, you should complying with both Vietnamese laws or social norms and the laws and social norms of those countries. Now we go to understand what is actually HR roles in organizational ethics. We got legal questions and ethical questions. That what I just mentioned. Legal question here is that does the behavior or results meet all applicable laws, regulations, and government codes? Ethical question is that does the behavior or results meet both organizational standards, your organizational standards, okay, and professional standards of ethical behavior? So these the thing. As HR, so remember that at HR, you should understand this. Relating HR, relating organizational ethics, you should have two questions: legal and ethical question. Right? Here is example of HR related ethical misconducts. We has mentioned earlier here. I had mentioned this that here the areas may be impacting ethical or unethical treatment in HR department. Now we go to have example of misconduct in these fields. Here we get three examples from compensation, employee relations, staffing, and equal employment. Now let's see what kind of misconduct, or we can say unethical treatment, okay? For example, compensation, misrepresenting hours and time worked, falsifying work expense reports, showing personal bias in performance appraisals and pay increases. That's what I just gave example, explained it already. Allowing deliberate, inappropriate overtime classifications, and accepting personal gains or gifts from vendors that are going to be, bribe, we say, hối lộ. Second, let's see. So what is misconduct in this role, that employee relation? Here's something: employees lying to supervisors and co-workers, right? Gian dối nói láo đối với đồng nghiệp và cái người quản lý mình. Executive managers emailing false public information to customer and vendors. Misusing or stealing organizational access and supplies. Stealing. Here is also the thing. We got a lot of actually case studies relating to this. Stealing, thing is common misconduct. So if employee actually they are support this organization, so this may happen. They're gonna stealing some stuff from organization. Okay, it's intentionally violating safety or health regulations. So what does it mean? Violating is like a breakdown. All right, intentionally chủ đích làm sai những cái quy định liên quan đến sức khỏe, đến cái an toàn trong cái tổ chức. The third areas happen with misconduct. For example, in field of staffing and equal employment here, discriminatory favoritism in hiring and promotion. Right, this is popular sometimes. Phân biệt trong cái việc mà tuyển dụng và cái bố trí thăng tiến. Ví dụ ông A này từ Đà Nẵng, đấy, bây giờ đến tuyển dụng thấy cái ứng cử viên này đến từ Đà Nẵng thì mình lấy ông từ Đà Nẵng này, mặc dù có thể điểm thi này với ông B kìa, ông B cao hơn, ông B đến từ Long An chẳng hạn, đó gọi là discrimination, phân biệt. Hoặc trong cái việc mà thăng tiến, tôi làm sếp, tôi từ Quảng Nam, nhân viên này từ Quảng Nam, có thể là cùng đồng hương với nhau thì tôi promotion, tôi đưa ông này lên chức, đó gọi là phi đạo đức trong cái staffing and equal employment. So at HR we should understand it and never, do like this. Okay, sexual harassment of other employees. This happened actually with female staff, and we got a lot of examples. I think what happened with the people, the chairman of Koto district, and all the people actually very big position, to get big position in the organization. Okay, so you know it. Or EO discrimination in recruiting and interviewing. Also, phân biệt trong cái việc mà tuyển dụng, cơ hội công bằng. Như lúc đầu thầy ví dụ giới tính, ví dụ tàn tật, mình phân biệt trong cái việc tuyển dụng những đối tượng này. Vì anh đó là BD, tôi không có tuyển vào công ty. Nhưng mà đây là cái gọi là EO discrimination. Conducting inappropriate background investigations. Okay, so this kind of examples of HR related ethical misconduct. Just example. Okay, so of course there would be a lot of things relating to this, but we just pick up something from this field: compensation, employee relation, staffing, and equal employment. Right. So the thing here, if you get a question that they argue, provide some example of HR-related ethical misconduct, then you should pick up here. Okay. Như vậy nên nếu các bạn sau này có câu hỏi gì đó, em hãy lấy một cái ví dụ về cái HR, những cái vấn đề phi đạo đức liên quan đến quản trị nguồn nhân lực như thế nào, thì bạn lấy từ đây này những cái ví dụ gọi là phi đạo đức, trái đạo đức trong lĩnh vực HR. Okay. So the next section that we're gonna focus on here, we're gonna look through the current HR management challenges. Okay, so here, challenges that we say difficulties or struggles. Now we're gonna look through that what HR management or HRM what challenges that HRM facing. Bây giờ mình sẽ nhìn xem những cái thách thức, những cái khó khăn, những cái cản trở mà cái quản trị nguồn nhân lực sẽ gặp phải hiện tại và tương lai. Okay, so look at this figure, then you see that there are 4 aspects of challenges. Okay, so we got globalization, toàn cầu hóa. We got competition, cost pressures, and restructuring, a changing workforce, human resource, and technology, right? Especially this happened with COVID-19, when business shut down or moved from physical office to online working. So at that time, so not everyone going to be comfortable to work with computer, work with, for example, Google Meets, Skype, MS Teams, Zooms. Not people going to be easy to work on this. So what you're going to do? HR, you are HR, and you're the one who take responsibilities for this. You had to provide training, right? And what else? So that you see the technique. And so far, actually, the business they try to use IT, information technology, into the workplace. They try, to technicalize. I mean, to use the techniques for HR jobs to make sure that everything related to people and workplace going to be, you know, um, computerization. Now, the first thing is the competition, cost pressure, and restructuring. For the job shifts, it's cost to reduce number of existing employees, attract, retain employees with different capabilities. Công việc thay đổi. Especially competition, employee they move a lot. Bây giờ nó không cố định nhân viên, người ta làm việc không có như ngày xưa làm một chỗ mà làm cả đời. Đặc biệt những nhân viên giỏi, người ta chỉ làm một thời gian 2-3 tháng hoặc 1 năm mà người thấy không happy là người ta đi. Mà mỗi lần đi là các bạn phải tuyển là người mới, mà tuyển là người mới các bạn phải đào tạo thì tốn tiền, mà đào tạo rồi chứ chắc gì người mới nó lại làm tốt bằng cái người cũ. Cho nên cái người giỏi nó rất là quan trọng, thành từ HR nó quan trọng chỗ đó, nó biết cái cách thức đưa ra những chính sách để mà tuyển dụng người giỏi. Cái thứ hai, giữ chân người giỏi. That's why we got recruit and retain. Okay. Tuyển rồi phải giữ chân người ta. Đấy, chứ các bạn tuyển vào cái công ty mà liên tục cứ tuyển nhân sự miết thì đâu có làm ăn được cái gì, ngày nào cũng lo mà tuyển người không đủ người làm. Ví dụ như các bạn thấy sau Covid-19 này, các khu công nghiệp này gần 40% là công nhân bỏ về hết. Về doanh nghiệp giám đốc có làm được gì đâu, có cái máy giám đốc đâu có biết dùng máy đâu. Giám đốc một mình ông sao làm được sản xuất mấy cái giày, ông phải cần nhân viên, công nhân bỏ thì ai làm. Vì cái nhân sự, anh làm nhân sự thì anh phải đi tuyển đủ người. Thứ nhất anh tuyển người có kinh nghiệm để làm, chứ anh tuyển người mới là bây giờ anh phải đào tạo. Alright, so a lot of things that's gonna be challenging, okay? Another thing that skill shortages, thiếu hụt về kỹ năng, especially relating to new graduates, các bạn mới tốt nghiệp. This we say skill gaps or career readiness. So that's going to be a problem. So you see a lot of these, companies, when they recruit staff, they normally ask skills, they normally ask employees should have critical thinking, should have adaptability skills, should have teamwork skills, IT skills, but not every new graduates, student get good preparation, well equipped in the university. So that's why at the university we try to help you to develop your communication skills, teamwork skills, critical thinking through providing the questions or discussion the class. It is the way we're going to help you to build up and develop your skills. Communication is important, okay? But not what the research said that so many students, new graduates, they got problem with this. Skill shortage, especially soft skill gaps, những kỹ năng mềm. That's important, okay? So now the challenges is that globalization in Vietnamese, that's going to be toàn cầu hóa. And that's going to be integrating of global operations, management, and strategic alliances. So when we talk about globalization, does that mean the business is not going to do, enterprises not going to do business within their country. The business is going to be going, beyond the country. For example, you see Vin Group not only invest money or doing business in Vietnam, but they also go abroad. For example, VinFast now opening, its factories in California, in USA, right? Or Viettel, has branches around the world, even in America or Africa, actually as well. So a lot of Vietnamese enterprises go abroad to do business. That is, we say, globalization. And business from other countries also come to our country to do business. For example, Samsung, it's not Vietnamese business, okay? Sony, okay, Coca-Cola, okay. There's a lot of things that is about the business. But for HR, so what you gonna do? What you gonna do with that? Remember that it's very important that how can you attract good staff and how can you retain your good staff? Because if a staff who get very skilled, good qualified, good skill, knowledge, and also good English, they're not going to work for you for a long time. They're going to look their opportunities in big companies, in global corporation. So that's the thing that gonna be pressure you. Gonna be you're gonna know that how to your manager's gonna ask you to think of the policy to retain these employees. So that is kind of a challenge. All right, so I'm gonna go through the first type of global workers that expatriates. That is kind of key term here. Expatriates, that are citizens of one country working in a second country and employed by an organization headquartered in the first country. Right? Host country national, citizen of one country working in that country and employed by an organization headquarters in a second country. Third country national, the citizens of one country working in a second country and employed by an organization headquarters in a third country. So another thing relating to globalization is that legal and political factors. Many nations function under turbulence and varied legal and political systems. So in this case, the role of HR professionals should be conducting comprehensive reviews of the political environment and employ laws before beginning operations in the country. All right, guys. So another thing related to globalization that going to be challenges for global human resource is that strategy, people, complexity, and risk. So we're going to talk it later. And actually, this one has been mentioned in all the courses. We're also going to talk it again in week 2 that relating to environment of HRM. Okay. Now, another thing, another challenges relating to workforce is that racial, or what we say, diversity. Okay, diversity. So now people going to work with people, from different races, ethics, right? So you're not going to work actually with people who had the same, who had shared with you about racial ethics. You're gonna work with people from Laos, Cambodia, Thailand, Indonesia, Malay, Philippines, Filipinos. So they're gonna be considered diversity, or even actually genders, diversities. That what we say gender to workforce. Religious diversity. All right. So Buddhists gonna work with Christian, Catholic, and who else? All right, etc. So that's gonna be the thing for us to understand it and try to prepare ourselves, make sure that you're going to be easier or comfortable to work in diverse workplace. Gender in the workforce. So remember that for a long time, people think that men gonna be strong one, and everything job men gonna get priority. So women now, had strong voice. They also get, power actually, and what their contribution to the organization as equal as the male. And another gender should be um, considered is that LGBT. Okay, so LGBT is it's not only that's sometimes we say that I think Vietnamese that let's see what LGBT in Vietnamese that's gonna be gay. We said gay or PD or chuyển giới, all right? So, but they should be respectfully because they also get the talents, they also get skills, right? So we need to respect that. Age workforce or aging diversity is relating to generation. Okay, so you guys gonna be Gen Zs, but for me gonna be Gen Y or Gen X. So we get different about ages, and of course it's gonna impact on job involvement and job inclusion in the workplace. That is workshop, and of course you're gonna not workforce that as a HR you should understand electing policy implementation, policy formation. You should understand how can you build up. Set up the policy for these people, with different ages, different generation, and growth in contingent workforce. Contingent workforce that people not going to find out 10 new position. So sectional workforce, or we say seasonal workforce, gonna be prominent now. Đó là những công việc công việc gọi là nhất thời, công việc bây giờ cái lực lượng lao động nó không còn ngày xưa tìm kiếm những cái vị trí biên chế, mà giờ như là một người nó có thể làm nhiều cái vị trí khác nhau, làm nhiều chỗ khác nhau, vừa làm chỗ công ty này vừa làm chỗ công ty kia, hoặc làm seasonal, làm một thời gian xong là chuyển qua làm chỗ khác. That's going to be growth in the future, and it is flexible. And of course, for the HR, you should understand how can you retain it, how can you deal with this, and that's going to be relating to your job, your task, your function, that human planning. Và cái này liên quan đến một cái chức năng của HR của các bạn, đó chính là cái hoạch định nguồn nhân lực. Các bạn phải biết lập kế hoạch, phải tính toán được là tuyển người về rồi, người này sẽ làm bao lâu cho công ty, và nếu trong trường hợp người này bỏ đi thì làm sao để mình tuyển dụng người kịp để bù đắp công việc cho người này. Ở một công ty mà người ta bỏ đi không có người làm thì công ty sẽ đứng. Remember that, okay? For HR, we should understand it. Another thing is that the advantage of technology, as I mentioned last, so we can't ignore technology, right? We know that robots that very, can very human. I mean, they can speak like people. They can feelings. That is the thing. And many research, many meeting and conference said that robot gonna be replace human in some area of working. All right. So that's why we can't actually ignore this issue. But of course, the advantages of technology also, help us to improve our job. For example, it's going to improve the efficiency of the administrative HR persons and reduces the cost. One example is that relating to documents. For example, các bạn thấy ngày xưa đó, bây giờ dịch này mình không có lên được công ty, làm sao để mình lấy được chữ ký? Bây giờ dịch này tất cả mọi người ở nhà làm việc online, nhưng mà thực tế business vẫn phải vận hành, ký tá này kia phải vận hành, vậy làm sao để mình ký tá được? Nhưng bây giờ cái công nghệ này, ví dụ các bạn gửi như sinh viên của thầy đây cũng hay gửi bài để bảo thầy ký thesis này kia mà đâu có gặp mặt được đâu, thầy đồng ký online trong cái PDF nó có chữ ký điện tử. Các cái phần mềm bây giờ nó cung cấp cho cái nhân sự làm các công việc thư ký điện tử, ký bằng điện tử hết. So that is your job. Như vậy cái đó là liên quan cái công việc HR, các bạn phải hiểu và làm sao để vận dụng nó được, chứ không thể cái paperwork được, không thể lúc nào cũng paper nếu chữ ký tươi, chữ ký thẳng, bây giờ dịch này sao mà tới được. Alright. And it also helps instructors ahead of planning, support recruitment, selection, and training. All right. Now you see that some business, when they move to online working, but they keep, they try to keep their staff in working situation, or even actually training rather than to stop. So online is very, for example, for us, you see, COVID-19, we don't have in-person classes, but we still keep learning through online. Of course, everything get their bad sides. Disadvantage like this. Now we get interactive, we get class online, we use MS Teams, we get conversation with you, right, through online. But of course, I'm not sure that how many people are there are actively listening to me. I don't know that. You may go to access to MS Teams and then you leave your home, your room, just go to play. So I don't know. That's why when I asked someone, but I didn't get any responses, or someone just messaged me that they got problem with microphone. But not only one, many people they give me the same reason. So that is the thing. Just think of the disadvantage of online learning. Okay. Contributes to organizational performance through collection and analysis of HR-related data. But of course, when we talk about the advantage, especially when we move from offline to online working, so many people think of how can we control staff working at home. So a lot of things we're going to discuss, and it's going to be your homework. So your homework going to be how does COVID-19 impact on HR roles, and you're going to provide it. You're going to do it individually. So it's going to be individual assignment. I'm going to let me write down here, guys. We still have the last section, but it's not very important. I'm going to go through that very quick. So all right. So I'm gonna get this. Your afternoon class, okay? So this is going to be in your assignment homework, okay? Right. So I'm going to post this on the meeting chat later. But just I would like to remind you, remember this. So we still have 5 minutes actually to complete this section of this week. Remember this assignment, okay? It's going to be marking for your process mark. Okay, it's gonna be individual assignments. I'm gonna mark in this, so try to do it. Write it in Word, okay, and maximum 100 words, not many. Explain how does COVID-19 impact on HR roles. Another thing that HR management competencies and career. So here is competency that we need. So HR now not only understand that HR skills and knowledge, but you also should have the knowledge like into strategy, legal, administrative, operational, especially technology and user abilities. And here is we say HR now is actually career field. We got HR generalists, that HR managers sometimes you get the word like this, and HR specialists. So we're gonna know that. I'm gonna go through a website to sum up what HR job now, what kind of job in HR field that employers are going to look through. Okay. Another thing that with HR professionalism and certification. So here is needed knowledge for HR professionals. For example, employment regulations, finance, tax law, statistics, information systems. Okay. So next, I'm going to go through this LinkedIn accounts to see what kind of jobs are calling relating to HR field. So let me join the screen sharing. Should be here. All right, so you get that, guys. Now let's go through this and look through what kind of jobs calling relating to HR field. Recruiter, devices services from Amazon. I think it's a kind of HR. Let's see. Industry full time. Human resource and information technology. See here, human resource coordinator. Job person, human resources. Right. So a lot of jobs callings relating to HR field. Hey, here, HR business partners. That's what I say, HR BP. It also field of human resources, and it is mid senior level. And you see, the pay ranks very high. Okay. Recruiter, student programs from Amazon. It also HR. Legal assistant, maybe law or HR. Let's see. Legal, yeah, not HR. Human resources generalist. Gender business management, but also HR actually. Human resource assistant, of course, it's HR. It's going to be HR too. Administrative is also HR. Human resource assistant, HR. It's going to be HR. Let's see. Management, similar field. Payroll, recruiting analysis, HR. Human resources, okay. Program administrative sports, administrative. Right. So many jobs related to HR. All right. I think you can focus on HR actually in the future here. Human resource, associated relations specialist. Human resources. Assistant human resource director. Human resource. Let's see, health, human business analysis, resource management, but also kind of resource actually. HR assistants. human resources. Going to be HR, administrative. HR, human resource, okay? So this policy. Or there's going to be resource as well, actually, you can get this. All right, guys, so many actually job opportunities for HR professional. So here, for example, HR director, human resource, okay? So that is about this week's chapter. So make sure that you get the chapter, get the learning outcomes, the learning goals, that what I just presented from the beginning of this afternoon, okay? And one more is that I would like to remind you that remember that you get assignment, okay? So let me here the assignment, you get the individual assignment, and you still have a deadline. It's pretty long, right? So don't worry, shit. Deadline gonna be next week, okay? It's next week. So I'm gonna post this on MS Team 2 to make sure that you guys get it, especially the one who not attending class today, okay? So anything else? If you get any questions, just let me know, okay? Send me through email or account LinkedIn or 5P, okay? Contact me through those social media, so I'm gonna get you're gonna get my answer. All right. So remember this assignment. Okay, guys. Thank you for joining the class with me today. Okay. So see you next week. Take care. All right. Bye bye.
Goodbye, teacher.